Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously. So what do we do? Three, two, one, my juicy little lights. Oh, come on, little light, shine bright. They'll come on in a minute, my delicious babies. Come on, come on, come on for Mama Bear. There we are. Are we having a party? Oh, I don't know. They don't want to come on now, delicious babies, but they will soon. Okay? Yeah, sorry about that, my delicious babies. They will come on at some point, I'm sure. Anyway, not to worry, not to worry. Just got to pretend that they're on, but they are on. Okay, my delicious babies. Now then, so the light opposite our flat, my delicious babies, me and my little two little babies now, they're so beautiful. Well, that stayed on. The Lampurst. Okay, my delicious baby. So that makes a refreshing change. And what's the time, Mr. Wolf? So it's 2:15 in our old England, my delicious little babies. And it is a bit chillier today, my delicious little babies, to be perfectly honest with you. And anyway, I've got to pop out shortly. So anyway, I just thought I'd bang out a quick video to you, my delicious babies. I haven't tried my chewy pineapple topping cake, my delicious little babies. Okay, I'm going to try some today. It's not the actual mixture itself, the baking. What it was, I shouldn't have put in the pineapple puree. I shouldn't have added it. I should have just left the cream and chocolate. Do you understand what I mean? Anyway, so, oh gosh, I'm going to see what, a few of my neighbours think of it. Okay, my delicious babies. But what I'm going to ask them to do, because I'm pretty sure they'll use a spoon or a fork, just dodge the tough bit, you know what I mean, in case it breaks their teeth. My delicious babies, do you know what I mean? Anyway. Oh, not to worry, not to worry, okay? I knew I shouldn't have. You know when like your noddles telling you do not put the pineapple puree in, with the chocolate. Do not do it. And I went and done it. Other than that, it was an absolutely banging cake. You know what I mean? My delicious babies. If I knew you were coming out a big dick cake, how'd you do, how'd you do, how'd you do? Yes, my delicious babies. So yeah. And of course, I've got to be careful with my beautiful dear little elderly neighbour up the road, because I'm not sure if she has dentures or if she has uh, her real teeth. I'm not entirely sure, so I don't want I don't want anything to happen to anybody's teeth, to be perfectly honest with you, because I mean, the worst thing in the world, isn't it, is going to the dentist these days, my delicious babies, because you never know what you're going to be damn well injected with. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Anyway, my delicious little babies. So, what is it that I want to say today? So, right, okay. And here's something I want to mention, okay? There's a few things actually, okay? So we hear that there's four ambulances that got burned, torched, my delicious little babies. Well, it wasn't so long ago, was it? That was it in Gaza? That 15 ambulance were buried, something like that. My delicious little babies. You only have to look at the number 15. Comes to 6. Okay, my delicious little babies. Anyway, so I've seen that on YouTube today. My delicious little babies. What was it under? Came up on my feed, the Daily Express. My delicious little babies. Anyway, it was. It's a bit like the runes. It was. Runes is what you read with my delicious little babies. So some readers, they use runes. Okay, my delicious babies. Well, there's one rune in there which means all and nothing. So it just seemed to myself that there was a lot of them. I never stayed on it for very long, my delicious babies. It appeared to myself there seemed to be a lot of them just with the cameras there. Click, 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 old Kodak and all that, my delicious babies. Mind you, it's moved forward since then. And not a fat lot happening, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? But of course, what is it, my delicious babies? There we are. We get back to it again. It's a distraction. There we are. It's distractions. Okay, my delicious babies now then. What's the other thing I want to say? Oh, yeah, our lovely UK column. They're up to 26.4 thousand subscribers now, Mardelistic Babies, okay? I've just been listening to the bless her, okay? I'll tell you what, dear Brian, and of course, anybody not in that way, not in that way. Oh, dear Brian, there we are. He does come out with some one-liners, I'm in my kitchen flipping howling, do you know what I mean? Because I just think it's so flipping hilarious, But anyway, they're talking a lot today, Mardelistic Babies. Oh, is it chin? They're talking a lot today, Mardelistic Babies, and this is to do with the old COVID, and the old lockdowns, the old pandemic, Mardelistic Babies. And of course, we have got, so please, if you can go on to our lovely UK column, they're most professional, they're really lovely, the same as our lovely davidark.com, where you can also find trending on Iconic and Arconic on our lovely davidark.coms. And we got our lovely trending on Iconic on YouTube, Mardelistic Babies. I think we're up to about 14,000 now subscribers, Mardelistic Babies can. Of course, you got our lovely David Ark on YouTube as well, Mardelistic Babies. So, and his lovely dear sons, their lovely dear friends, Gareth, Jamie and Richard, okay? So, there's plenty, to listen to there, Mardelistic Babies, should anybody happen to have any form of an interest. Anyway, I want to talk about this. So, I was out walking yesterday evening, Mardelistic Babies, and with myself, there's some really, there we are, lovely, banging families who I know, Mardelistic Babies. Everything from, ones with little babies now. Do you understand what I mean, okay? Because I've still got a little Kurt here, Mardelistic Babies, of, one of my beautiful, dear little friends up the road, okay? And her beautiful little baby, bless you. They're such a beautiful little family, And I was out walking yesterday evening, and I was really in a pissed off mood, Mardelistic Babies. So yes, I am going to swear some today. And anyway, I happened to bump into another, the Papa Bear of the little family. Oh, they've got a beautiful little family, okay? They are a lovely little family. And I said, oh, good evening, love, because, everybody knows myself and walking around with little roofs. Well, for most, they do anyway. And anyway, and he says, oh, so you're all right, are you? Like this. And I said, I hope that your lovely self, your beautiful little family's all well, bless. And I said, no, actually. I said, I'm pissed off. He said, what's wrong, love? Genuinely. I said, well, I'll tell you now. So there I was. Rah, 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 rah. Do you know what I mean, Martin? I said, what's really pissing myself off? And I said to him, I said, excuse me swearing, but it's not really swearing. He said, you're all right, love. You know what I mean? Sorry, excuse me. Anyway. And I said, so what's really pissing me off? I said, is this, gosh, my eye keeps itching today. That usually means I'll bump into somebody who I know. Anyway, not in that way, Mardelistic Babies, anyway. So I said, it's this meningitis shit business. You know what I mean, Mardelistic Babies, yes? So it's like we said, what they were trying to do, Mardelistic Babies, because there was it last year? Last September, the September before, where they wanted to lock the world down again for another pandemic. You see what I mean, Mardelistic Babies? Well, anyway, what's the point I'm making? I had a good old fucking moan. I really did, Mardelistic Babies. I'm not swearing at you, Mardelistic Babies, okay? I'll just get damn fucking, there we are, so fucking frustrated. So I suggested to your dear man there now then, because the rest of his little family were at home because it was dark, because Mama Bear was with the babies, bless. And I said, please go on to, because I could have told him everybody to go on to, do you know what I mean, Mardelistic Babies, but I didn't want to bombard him at this point, okay, because what we got to remember, there we are, what we got to remember here, Mardelistic Babies, is that some, because they would find it so damn hard to believe that our putrid fucking governments, there we are fucking skanked them, man, to poison them and everything, right? Ones don't want to hear this, Mardelistic Babies, okay? So I said, if you could go on to our lovely David Ark, davidike.com. He said, oh, davidike.com. I said, yes. I said, do you have a laptop or, something? He said, yes. And I said, well, please, if you go on there, I says, you will hear the latest. There we are. I said, you will hear and read the latest. Please and thank you, I said to him. Anyway, and I said, but you mustn't believe. Because, you see, what happened was, when I spoke to him, he mentioned it first, believe it or not. Anyway, the point is, this is the conversation, words to effect. So anyway, and he says, oh, it's this meningitis. Do you see? So I explained in a very lovely way. I just said, please, I beg you with the Lord's mercy, do not watch that fucking box in the corner of the room now. Because as we very well see, Martlish babies, there we are. Yes, we flipping damn well did. Our sinful and plenty, you know what I mean? And on our lovely, especially bit shoot that very sadly we cannot see at the moment, Martlish babies anyway. I'm pretty sure not for the foreseeable future unless I get a VPN or something like this now then. Anyway, so yeah, we've seen the damage it caused. You know, and it's a true saying, Martlish babies. You know, the poxy box in the corner of the room, that'll be the fucking death of you. And it literally fucking was. There we are, for millions. There we are, Martlish babies. Do you know what I mean? Death by the box in the corner of the room, Martlish babies. Anyway, so what's the point I'm making? So once I said what I had to say, okay, I said to him, I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I'm so sorry for going on. I said, I'm not swearing at you, my little lovely, you know, not in that way, of course. And he says, don't worry about it, love, honestly, you know what I mean? He says, but I do understand, there we are, what you're saying. So he got what I was saying, Martlish babies. But I even spoke to an elderly woman up the road from myself, Martlish babies, not the lovely little lady who I go and take the soups to, which actually I'm due today to go and take another soup to her. And this pineapple cake, I'm just going to tell her to avoid the hard bits. You know, not with the actual baking part, you know what I mean? I'll just explain, you know, there was a slight hiccup. Never mind. There we are. It still tastes delicious, right? Anyway, so, so this elderly woman up there now then, was it a couple of months ago, 6 weeks, a couple of months ago? And I said to her, sorry, excuse me, Martin, and I said to her, I happen to be out walking with my beautiful, delicious little Ruby Tuesday again. And I said, please don't take anything. I remember saying it weeks back to her. And you know, she said to myself, Martin, babies, she said, you're not one of them, are you? Did you hear that, Martin, babies? That's what she said to myself. Oh, you're not one of them, are you? Well, it just so happens that this elderly woman now, right, she has to stop every so many, you know, as she's walking, like she's stopping and starting, Martin, baby. She'll get so far, then she just stands there, you know, puts her hand on her hip, you know, just has a little rest, you know, then pulls the little trolley. Do you see what I mean, Martin, babies? So this is the point that I'm making, Martin, babies, and that's why it fucking pisses me right off. Because I don't want to listen. You got, on one hand, that dear man, the Papa Bear, to the lovely little family, bless, because they're all so lovely, okay? So you had that dear man now then, there we are, who was quite happy to hear what I had to say, okay? Then you got the other elderly woman up there now then, okay? Who seemed to think now then, you know, that I'm clearly talking through my fucking arse. Do you see what I mean, Martin, babies? But she's not seen. She probably doesn't even realise, okay? Because when you look at her, you know, she doesn't look her age or anything. You know, I should imagine, I don't know how old she is. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, she doesn't look her age. So she looks after herself, Martin, babies, but you can bet your bottom dollar, there we are, that she's been one to take the chippy job. So she probably hasn't joined it all together. Why she has to keep stopping and starting. She's probably putting it down to her age. Martin, babies. Well, I've been here for over 10 years, Martin, babies, and I'm telling you now, I remember, and I've seen others, Martin, babies, where ones used to walk, there we are, really quite fast. And now they do not, Martin, babies, you know what I mean? But they'd never once in a million years put it together. Yeah, do you see what I'm saying, Martin, babies, okay? And what my worry is in all of this, Martin, babies, because I am concerned about this. I'm very concerned about this, okay? is to the fact that, and of course, you know, with videos, I always send them out in my dog and bone. Do you know what I mean? To let others know how many look at them because I've got such busy lives. I'm not entirely sure. But nobody can be done now saying to myself that I never let anybody know. Nobody can ever do that. Because I've been doing it, there we are, from the fucking word go with all this shit. You know what I mean? Mad Lishtic babies, oh yes, I fucking have. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so no. And I couldn't give a shit. I really couldn't, Mad Lishtic babies. I'm pissed off with it. I'm pissed off that every single fucking morning you wake up and you know what it is? Excuse me, Marslish babies, because I'm always busy every day, okay? There we are. I've always got something to do. Believe me on this one then. Anyway, doesn't matter because, you know, I enjoy keeping myself busy. Anyway, that's all besides the point. Just flipping, stop rambling, Carl. Do you know? The point of the matter is this, okay, is that at the end of the day, right, what my massive concern is here is that how many now, and they've got little babies, don't forget, little wee young bairns now, teenagers, okay, and in some cases, you know, some have got adults, haven't they? You know, they've got sons, daughters, all this kind of thing now then. How many of those, okay, we've really got to look at this smartish little babies. How many of them, there we are, because they simple things haven't learnt from the last time smartish little babies, how many of them, just to protect, got to remember that word, smartish little babies, you know, because you've got to protect. Remember back in the day, got to protect Granny now. Don't want to harm Granny now. Yet in the nursing homes, little babies, they're fucking murdering little bastards, man. Murdering little fucking bastards is what they did. I mean, you should have seen, it was so upsetting to watch little babies. And anyway, there were many who was covering it, you know, alternative media, bless them, okay, especially on BitChute, okay, where, you know, and there was lots of footage filmed to do with this little babies, you know, poor, beautiful, dear elderly, in tears, crying the heart out. I'm not going to say blarting because I'm not, do you know what I mean? That's more like for the younger, you know, type of jingle, mingle, bingle. You know, what we talk, little babies, I'm talking about dear elderly. And then crying their hearts out, touching the glass, you know, and their families and everything, there we are, they were damn well having to endure. Fucking damn rank, disgusting, man. Made me damn fucking sick. Then you had others, didn't you? It was fucking bonkers at that time, little babies, and you had others. I was watching them on BitChute. It was crackers, bonkers, and crazy, little babies, in a mobility scooter. And this is over in America. Born in the USA. Right. Yeah, stumbled there, rightfully so. Had a covering, whole plastic covering around them, around the whole, you know, mobility scooter and themselves, okay? A muzzle on the boat race, right, my delicious babies. And one had a fucking goldfish bowl. A goldfish bowl. My delicious babies, okay? I'm pretty sure it must have been plastic. I'm pretty sure it wasn't glass. But one of those goldfish bowls, my delicious babies, going around, whizzing around the fucking supermarket now. Have you ever heard of anything so fucking bonkers in your life? But this is what you're dealing with, my delicious babies. I mean, who goes round covered completely in plastic, my delicious babies, and a muzzle, which some would know as masks, and a fucking goldfish bowl on the fucking head, man? Can you see they're fucking mentally ill, man? Because that's never correct. That's never right. And whoever it is out there needs to keep a fucking handle on it. Yeah, somebody's been in my garden today, haven't they? It's got to have been the early hours of the morning because they never fell asleep till the early hours of the morning. You know, it's got to be after, cannot remember now. It was about 1 o'clock when I fell asleep or something like that now. Then instead of being into my garden, little fucks. You know what I mean, my delicious babies? See what I'm saying? And this morning, walking around, my delicious babies, I'm just going to tell you this, I'm sorry about this, right? Walking around, what did I say? So we've gone through the rats stage, we've gone through the frogs. In all the years that I've lived here, my delicious babies, okay, I think I must have seen about 3 or 4 frogs, and some of them, bless them, I managed to pick one up, and bring it home with myself. You know what I mean? To get it, stop it from being squashed anymore. And then, of course, there's others that have just been completely squashed. Okay, my delicious little babies. So now we're going through, and they're all so beautiful creatures, great and small. A dove, my delicious little babies. How often do we see doves? Okay, so I've only got half of the dove, and it's got all its insides hanging out, bless, okay? So I picked it up in a bag, and I brought it back, and I was just saying, please rest in peace. So beautiful. It's beautiful wings and everything. Marvelous. So this is what I'm going through. They're still putting holes in the grass, marvelous, just little babies. It's fucking everywhere here, there, and fucking everywhere, man. Yeah, not too far from myself either now. Do you know what I mean, marvelous little babies? So as you can see, I'm still being, there we are. I am still being fucking spied on. Okay, marvelous little babies. So, yeah. So, this is what is going on, marvelous little babies. Do you see what I mean? I've said it before and I say it again. If anybody wants information, look at me fucking damn well videos. Simple fucking things. They don't need to bug my fucking arm, and they don't need to be coming into my fucking garden, man. Do you know what I mean, marvelous little babies? And what they did, they picked up the bowl because I put a meal out for my beauty little Barney the fox with the family and friends. So somebody had put the bowl on the wall, the empty bowl from a little fox's eating, and somebody had moved my beautiful. I did a video months ago where I picked up this beautiful, part of an Acer tree, marvelous babies, and anyway, that's in my garden. Okay, stays right next to me beautiful little tree Anastasia, and they'd moved it as if to say, yeah, we let you know, there we are, that we can just come in and out, whenever we like. Do you see what I mean, marvelous babies? Okay, so this is what some of us out here, there we are fucking dealing with. I'm just going to have a drink of my, sip of my orange juice, please, and thank you, marvelous little babies. In fact, I'll have 2. Anyway, marvelous little babies, I'm not swearing at you and I'm not shouting at yourselves, it just pisses me off. But yeah, I am worried about this at the moment, marvelous little babies, because I'm worried about those beautiful little babies now, not in that way, clearly. These little babies now with their mummies and daddies, or their carers, or whoever will be looking after them. Not to mention the sneaky little bastards called teachers in the schools, marvelous little babies, okay? Quite happy for a nurse to come in, and jibby-jab the little babies now. Do you know what I mean? Without the mummies, daddies, or carers, or aunties, uncles, nanas, granddads' permission, marvelous babies, okay? We've seen a lot of that as well, didn't we, marvelous babies? Yes. So, yes, this is a concern for myself, because we can be well assured, marvelous babies, that our putrid fucking governments do not want us to be very well, marvelous babies, okay? They don't want us to have to walk around, be able to walk around and get some exercise and everything, Let's go back to the COVID days, you know what I mean, marvelous babies, because it was all to protect us, marvelous babies, okay? But yet they closed the gyms, they closed everywhere. Oh, they closed the church, and mind you, yeah, they closed the churches, didn't the marvelous babies, but they soon opened them up, to use them, for the old jibby jabs. Do you know what I mean, marvelous babies? And by the way, I will repeat this again. Anybody, bless your beautiful dear little hearts, except for the fuckers who pushed all this on different platforms and the fucking poxy box in the corner of the room. Okay, marvelous babies, I'm not talking about them. I couldn't give a figureless fuck if something happens to those, okay, because I didn't mind pushing it out, okay? So if I look like a bitch, good. I'm highly fucking delighted, because that's how I feel. There we are, because that is how I feel. Do you know what I mean, marvelous babies? Okay, so no, I won't let it go. So if these little babies now then they have an injection because others seem to think it's safe and fucking effective, then we are going to have a big fucking problem, aren't we, Marty Stuck babies? Do you see what I'm saying? Yes? Because nobody knows what's fucking been put in what, do they, Marty Stuck babies? This is the problem. And as this is still experimental, you know, for some of them had the dummy version, I already clocked it long time back. Do you know what I mean? I thought I was monitoring everything, but here's the thing, to the best of my ability. But the thing is now, it's still experimental. And there are still some who are suffering, where their bodies, their skin's itching, everything's itching, or they've got pins and needles in the feet and legs, and they're like a very strange colour for some, like a pasty green colour with a colour coral. It's the most strangest colour that they look in the boat race, Mardish babies. Well, you're not meant to look like that, are you? Do you know what I mean? It's not how we've known anybody to look. You know, they genuinely look, there we are, unwell. And for most of them, they are blooming unwell. Mardish babies, no thanks to, you know, who's supposed to be protecting. Instead, they're robbing little bastards, taking everybody's fucking tax, putting food prices up, putting gas up, putting electric up, every damn thing up now then. But what it is, it's like an abusive marriage, isn't it, Mardish babies, okay? So they're doing all the fucking taking, and us out here, I'm not going to say all of us, okay, are doing the fucking giving, Mardish babies. Do you see what I mean? How does that work now then? And when, you know, when you tell a damn truth now then, Mardish babies, there we are, ones for most do not fucking like it, do they? They don't like somebody when, there we are, when you're done telling it the way it is. They don't like it. And for some, they don't like swearing. Oh, they don't like swearing. Oh, what a fucking shame. Fuck off nicely. Can't be bothered with that shit, do you know what I mean? And these ones are at fucking hurlier than fucking hurlier now. Make me damn fucking sick, man. Do you know what I mean? Mads, little babies, so they needn't act as though their own fucking shite doesn't stink, because I don't want to fucking know. Do you know what I mean? Mads, little babies anyway. So that's what I'm going to say. And I am going to mention these videos again, Mads, little babies, okay? So we got this is all in capitals with a space. Court on YouTube, all on YouTube, Mads, babies. Thank you so very much for any views. Thank you for any views, for any likes, for the occasional comments, okay? Because as we know, you know, YouTube is not a like in myself. No, don't like anybody, there we are, who tells it as it is. Do you know what I mean, Mads, babies? And what a very, very bad fucking shame that the information couldn't get out years ago. Otherwise, we wouldn't have as many disabled mankind, bless them now. We wouldn't have as many who very sadly mankind who passed away, not to mention our beautiful little babies. Yeah, because let me tell you, they never spared nobody. Do you understand me? Yes. They'd all still be here, Mads, little babies, if it wasn't for these fuckers. Okay, there we are. So I'm just done saying it the way it is. They're big man, big woman, big men, big women. They're grown up. They know right from wrong. So I don't want to hear, oh, it's not the politician's fault. Oh, it's not this one's fault. It's not that one's fault. I don't want to hear it. If they don't want to do the job no more, if they want to genuinely help you and die out here, Mads, little babies, you know something, the best thing that they can do, instead of making their situation a lot worse, is just to come out the job, isn't it? Simple things. Come out the job. But of course, when you go into these kind of roles, you're trained to lie and to bullshit your fucking countries, you know what I mean? Mads, little babies. That's what they're designed to do, Mads, little babies, all by design, you say. Anyway, so this is called Court Space Helicopter, and it's all in capitals, Mads, little babies. This upload happens to have 52.2 thousand subscribers. The video should read, it's just over 20 minutes long, so I'm repeating it again, Mads, little babies. Laughter in court as Rastafari. Diviner explains why cannabis is sacred. Okay, Mads, little babies. So I'm just going to repeat this again for you. Laughter in court as Rastafari. Diviner explains why cannabis is sacred. Mads, little babies. Okay. Right. Well, basically, it's this Rastafarian man. Bless his dear little soul, and like I say, with anybody not in that way, not in that way, but bless his dear little soul because he's actually educating. There we are, the court. Okay, it's a very interesting. There we are, video to listen to. Mads Lishlik Babies. Okay, never came up on my feed. It's when I was looking for other videos. Okay, so that's the first one. But yeah, he tells it as it is. But where they put laughter in court, well, it wasn't really. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, it wasn't like ha, and all that jazz. Okay, Mads Lishlik Babies, but they probably could have put a different title. Do you know what I mean? Mads Lishlik Babies, but I suppose if they put a different title, then they probably wouldn't have had as much views. So, it goes both ways. You can see probably why they put that title. Okay, Mads Lishlik Babies. Now, the next one. This uploader happens to have 2.63 million subscribers. Mads Lishlik Babies. I'm just going over those numbers, dots, and the initial M. Okay, and this one's called capital G, Gareth space, capital W, Win, which is W-Y-N, space, capital J, Jones. Me and Mrs. Jones, do. We got a thing going on. What year was that song, Mads Lishlik Babies? Yes. Anyway. The point is, Mads Lishlik Babies, nothing to do with the video. It's just when I see Jones, when I see the Jones. Okay, Mads Lishlik Babies. Now then, so the title should read, OMG, oh my God. Okay, Mads Lishlik Babies, God, gold, oil, drugs. Okay, Mads Lishlik Babies. This is bankers, hopefully. Bill Gates and his mates get found out. Yeah, the little fuck. Yeah, he is a little fucker, isn't he? Mads Lishlik Babies, a proper little fuck. Okay, and this is to do with the Netherlands now. And bless dear little, not in that way. Bless our dear little lovely there, Fiona Rose Diamond. Yes, she is a little diamond, Mads Lishlik Babies, okay, because she's been standing up. For those of us in England, there we are, Mads Lishlik Babies. Do you see what I'm saying, okay? Bless her dear little soul. And she was talking to this lawyer, solicitor, all in the name, Mads Lishlik Babies, solicitor. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, but this one here, we're going to see how it goes. Mads Lishlik Babies, okay? But this is a solicitor or a lawyer, whatever they want to be called. Who basically this is a court case to do with that putrid little fucker Bill Gates. Okay, Mads Lishlik Babies, and but he wasn't present. So usually with courts, isn't it? Like you have to be present, don't you? Does this mean that if you've got a lot of ching 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 ching? Pounds, shilling, pence, dollars and change, that you don't have to be present? Is that what it means, Mads Lishlik Babies? I'm just wondering. I wonder why. What year was that song, Mads Lishlik Babies? Yes. Anyway, so this is, I think, about, is it 26 minutes long? Bless. Anyway, so Fiona, bless her, she's talking to, what's his name? Oh, should have wrote it down. Anyway, and this is to do with the Netherlands now, okay? So we got to, there we are, keep on the ball with this, Mads Lishlik Babies. Now, this video is, I think, about 4 days old, 4-day old. Okay, Mads Lishlik Babies. So well worth a watch of that video, Mads Lishlik Babies, should anybody happen to have any form of an interest, or happen to have any form of an interest. What's she staring at? Sorry, Mads Lishlik Babies. It's all right. Somebody's just staring straight at me. Okay, Mads Lishlik Babies. I do not know who they are from Adam. Sorry, excuse me, Mads Lishlik Babies. Anyway, not to worry. The point of the matter is, Mads Lishlik Babies, is this. Any of the videos that I advertise today, Mads Lishlik Babies, okay? All well worth a watch, okay? I don't like to deliver shit. You know what I mean, Mads Lishlik Babies, because there's plenty of shit on different platforms, isn't there? The ones who are good, okay, they don't seem to get all the coverage. But the ones who bullshit you, for most, not for all, but for most, okay, they go ding, 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 ding. You know what I mean? All the way to the bank. You know what I mean? Mad babies, yes. So, well worth a watch. And bless you, dear Fiona Rose Diamond. Bless your dear little heart. Because, you know, this is what it is. You've got others who are working, there we are, to try to sort this fucking shit out. There we are, that we're all fucking in right now. But never mind, there we are, because I believe we won anyway. There we are. I really genuinely do, Martin, but there we are. I genuinely, yeah, didn't need to stumble there, Martin, the babies. I genuinely believe, there we are, we have won, okay? It's not going as to plan, as what they thought it would. So if you look at the old pandemic, and the COVID, okay, it actually, if you look at it a different way, even though we had a lot of sadness during that time, with bless the dear little souls of mankind, losing their dear loved ones, family, friends, work colleagues, you know, who they've known for years, and their beautiful little babies, even though there's an awful lot of sadness then, okay? Mind you, all the funeral directors were ka-ching, 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 we're in the money, we're in the money. Do you see what I mean, mad to the babies, yes. We have the other side of things, mad to the babies, where, there we are, there has been ones, there we are, who have been waking up. So it's a bit like mad to the babies. It's double-edged. Okay, Martin, baby's just figure of speech. It's double-edged. Do you understand what I mean? So there was sadness, but then there has been a positivity, there we are, that's also come out of this Martin babies. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm done saying. Do you see what I mean? Okay, and this can only be a good thing now. Okay? Now, the next one, here we are, Martin babies. This is called capital U, upcycle, space, capital D, design lots. Design, then capital L, lot, but that's two words together. So it's upcycle space design lot. Okay, Martin babies, this uploader happens to have 80.9 thousand subscribers. What does he say? I think it's about 15, 16 minutes long. Microwave your broken glass. Yes, Martin babies. I would really strongly suggest that ones take a little look at that, Martin babies, because you can make crosses. You know, these actual crosses that you put around your neck, Martin babies, to do with the microwave. Mind you, Martin babies, I have seen some videos. I was telling somebody about this yesterday. Who was I telling? I was telling somebody, Martin babies, that about there was this somebody who was using this machine, and they went near a microwave. I remember saying this months ago as well, Martin babies. They went near a microwave, and this is to do with a man now. So he went near to a microwave, okay? Somebody else had this little machine, and it was going boom, 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 okay? Well, that's not very good for a man's sperm. Martin babies, do you see what I mean, okay? They're very dangerous things, okay? And ones only need to look at Barry Trower, capital B, Barry space, capital T, Trower, Trower, okay, Martin babies on YouTube, and you'll see for yourself, you'll hear for yourself. I've done all this years ago. I've advertised this Martin babies years ago now. Okay, Martin babies. I've been done advertising. I don't know what else to do, Martin babies. So some days, even though I have a good laugh, you know, because I mean, obviously, you know, videos are serious, like our lovely you. Of course, it's very serious, okay? The part I was laughing at is they went back to a clip, you know, at the start of the old COVID, and the, what is it, the pandemic, where, you know, they said, oh, you know, are we you know, sitting, was it Brian, dear Brian, bless him, are we sitting, is it 3 meters apart or whatever it is, you know, or 3 feet apart, whatever it's called, Martin? It's just like, babies, okay, you know, are we following the government's advice? I just thought it was fucking hilarious, you know what I mean, Martin? Because you've got to look back. You have to see the damn funny side, even though there's a lot of sadness, like I said. But it's when you see some mankind, Martin babies, and the lengths that they were going to in order to protect themselves and everybody else. What were they protecting themselves from? You see, but if you was to ask them, it's really a fascinating, because you do not really get the answer that you're looking for, Mardelistic babies. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes. Bonkers, man. I refuse to put on any muzzle. When I was born, my beautiful, I love her so, my beautiful mummy, Mama Bear, okay, and my dear dad, bless, they never brought me into the world to wear a muzzle. You know what I mean, Martin? Babies, no, 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 no. And I'm pretty sure that even if you go back decades ago, they certainly would not have, you know, let myself wear a muzzle. No, they wouldn't have done. Do you know what I mean, Martin? Babies, so that's that. Anyway. Well, I would have certainly liked to have thought so, Martin babies. Anyway, final one. Okay. Oh yeah, this one is no. There's two. Right. This one here, 187,000 subscribers. Martin babies. K happened to come up on my feed. I actually thought that the way it's come across, it was. I think it was rather threatening in a strange sort of way. This video. It depends what angle, there we are, that one is looking at it. Mardelistic babies, yes. That's the way I've seen it. It's not my paranoia. I do not suffer with paranoia. Mardelistic babies. It's just the way, there we are, this video came across. You've got to take out ham in pieces, bits and pieces. Do you know what I mean? Mardelistic babies, yes. Who they're part of, the Poxy BBC. They're full of shit as well, aren't they, Mardelistic babies anyway? Well, it shows that, doesn't it? You know, with how many are refusing to pay their television licence, Mardelistic babies. It's not going very well, is it? That's why they're trying to tax us. Everywhere else, there we are, Mardelistic babies. If they cannot get you one way, there we are. They want to get you another, isn't it? Yes. Anyway, so this one here, capital T, this is the uploader, the space capital M, map, space capital R, reading, and space capital C, company. Okay, Mardelistic babies, so it should read the map reading company. They're all spaces, Mardelistic babies, the uploader. Yeah, this is not very long. I don't know if it's, I forgot how many minutes now. Is that about 15, 16 minutes? I don't know, something like that, Mardelistic babies. Okay, I look at that many flipping videos, Mardelistic babies. So, awfully sorry about this, okay? Should read the title, most interesting video on YouTube about a wall. Yes, Mardelistic babies, I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? Most interesting video on YouTube about a wall. Yes, Mardelistic babies, no, I've talked about this anyway. Then I've got one more, then I'm going to be over and out. Yeah, I've talked about walls. I mean, I can see, I've said this so many times, I sound like a stuck record sometimes, Mardelistic babies, but the point is this. For myself, I can look at whether it be a brick wall or whether it be a stoned wall, anything like that, Mardelistic babies, and I can see faces in them. You know what I mean, Mardelistic babies? I can see faces, or sometimes it's mainly faces that I can see. But you know, all I have to do is just I just look, and for most of the time, I'd probably say about 98% of the time, I do not even have to like focus or anything. I just see it. And for that, there we are. I truly feel blessed, Mardelistic babies, you know, having that, there we are, ability to be able to do that, okay? And sometimes it may show something different. You know what I mean? There could be another symbol or another pattern or something. Do you understand what I mean, Mardelistic babies? Anyway, I'm not going to keep rambling on anyway. Yeah, interesting to take a listen to. Very interesting. But like I said, it's a case of taking out bits and pieces. And what year was that song, Mardelistic babies? Now, finally, this uploader happens to have 600, do forgive me, and 618,000 subscribers, Mardelistic babies. It's nearly 2 hour long. Okay, so it is a rather long video, but you can always pause and then go back to it if you're a bit busy and you're too busy to Oh, sorry, excuse me, pardon me, my delicious babies. I've had a curry earlier. It was flipping banging and delish. Anyway, sorry about that, my delicious babies. Every now and again, it just happens, doesn't it? You know, every now and again, you just, you know what I mean? Got to get it out. Okay. Anyway, the point of the matter is, my delicious babies. This here is a really lovely video to listen to. Okay, my delicious babies, and the upload is called capital T, the space, capital R, Roseanne. Rosanna, we love you. You know what I mean? Not in that way, not in that way. Clearly, you know what I mean? Hate that word, clearly. What am I saying? Then space, capital B, bar, as in yabard. Okay, my little baby, so it's capital B, A-R-R. Okay, my little babies. Everybody knows our lovely Roseanne. I remember decades ago watching our lovely little Roseanne, bless her. Okay, anyway. Well, I've mentioned our lovely Roseanne a while ago now, actually. She's in my book, bless that, okay? Well, she's wonderful and beautiful and delicious. There we are, the way that she is. Yes, you are, Roseanne. But what poor dear Roseanne is going through, my delicious babies, okay, is where she should have, and she said it in her own words, thousands, millions, you know, words to effect, more subscribers and followers and everything, my delicious babies. But she's not, because bless her dear little soul, she's another one, okay, there we are, is when you tell the truth about things, certain are not liking, okay, my delicious babies, okay, but she's really, what I really love, and like I said, not in that way, not in that way, what I really love about listening to Roseanne, okay, because it was mainly listening to Roseanne, not, you know, the guess, it was Roseanne, bless her, okay, is that, there we are, she's just done saying it, there we are, the way it is. Do you know what I mean? She doesn't mince the words, and she never tries to be somebody who she's not. Okay, what you see of our lovely Roseanne is what you get. My delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? So no, our beautiful little Roseanne. Oh, we love you lots, our little lovely. You know what I mean? You do wonderful videos, bless you. You know, I always say though, which I do, my delicious little babies, who you're supposed to listen to, or who is meant to listen to yourself, there we are, is who will listen to yourself. It's who's meant to, there we are, my delicious little babies, do you know what I mean? But of course, the title to her video, my delicious little babies, our lovely Roseanne's latest video, is Always Right and Always Ignored. Yes, my delicious little babies. Now we're seeing this with some of the, you know, alternative media. So there we are, when they are correct, and like our lovely David Icke, well, look at that. You know, so he's right, okay? And at the end of the day, ones have just got to suck it up, isn't it? What they're going to do, suck it up through a fucking cardboard straw, my delicious little babies, for some. You know what I mean, okay? So this is what happens. You know, and our dear little Roseanne, there we are, bless her, she's going, there we are, through the same thing. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Yes. But bless you, our lovely little Roseanne, you know what I mean? We've always loved you, we always will. So who gives figures fuck, you know what I mean? Like I just said, who's meant simple things, who's meant to listen, will listen, who's not meant to listen, shall not. Look at my videos. I mean, I'm lucky. I mean, I always get, you know, one like, you know, oh, bless to, oh, how we love you so, not in that way, not in that way, you know, whoever it is who, you know, views my video and puts a like, bless him, you know what I mean? But I'm lucky if I get one flipping view of my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? Let alone hundreds of views, you know, but I don't worry about it. I'm not one, how can I explain it, my delicious babies? I'm not one to be bothered about it, do you know what I mean? Okay. you go through the stage where you say to yourself, I don't even know why I bother because nobody's blooming listening anyway. But I know deep in my heart that there's always somebody seeing and there's always somebody hearing. Do you see what I mean, Mads Lishlik babies? So I know. But it's very true. You say the ones who do not get all of that, okay. Well, the fact of the matter is, Mads Lishlik babies, you know what I mean? They're clearly, there we are, hitting the mark, aren't they, Mads Lishlik babies? You know what I'm saying? Yes. Simple things. That's what's happening, Mads Lishlik babies. Do you know what I mean? So this is the thing. This is what I'm saying, Mads babies. Just like when I do all this as a hobby, there we are. I do it as a hobby, but not to everybody, especially YouTube now, okay, and who they work for. Okay, Mads babies is a liking. Do you see what I'm saying to you, Mads babies? Yes, and then So anyway, so please, if you could take a listen. So now I'm going to close my book, and what we've got to do, we've got to remember to go back to where we need to go back to. Mads babies. I'm just going to go and pop my book over there, and I hope that we're all feeling the love and that we continue to feel the love. Okay, Mads babies. Anyway, that a bit late in the day saying that. Never mind, better late than never. Finally, that's what I want to say. Yep, I'll mention this again. So I was on the bus, Mads babies, the other day, and there was this man. Admittedly, he was hilarious. And he was singing at the top of his voice, but I couldn't make out what he was saying. I did say to him, could you please sing it in English so that the rest of the bus can understand what you're saying? Do you know what I mean? But he was rather hilarious. So I wasn't sure whether he was Polish or, what nationality he was, to be perfectly honest with you. You know what I mean, okay? And because he was singing, well, even then I couldn't. I could have probably, if he was talking, I would have said I would have been able to work it out better. But because he was singing, well, there was just two hopes, Bob open, no effing hope, you know what I mean? Mads babies in trying to work that one out. And he had, what did he have? A real plug, like you put a plug in a socket, on a wire around his waist. Mads babies. That's the first fucking time I've ever seen anything like that. Mads babies, yes. And what it was, he had these sunglasses on, but before he was singing, he just kept staring at myself, and I thought, I hope they are not one of these fucking data fucking damn pair of glasses, because you can get those. You can get the normal ones, Mads babies, and you can get the sunglasses version, and they do the AI, don't they? The what they're called? I think they're about 25. Ching, ching, ching. I saw a pair for. Okay, Mads babies. Well, we're not interested in that anyway. But I thought to myself, I hope you're not flipping taking all my flipping data by staring at myself. It was quite eerie, actually. The way he was staring at me. Not like frightening or anything like that. Just eerie. Do you know what I mean? Mads babies. Anyway, so he was singing away, bless him. But not everybody really wished to see the inside of his mouth, Mads babies, but never mind. It was really amusing though. Even the bus driver, bless him, even he was, as I was getting off the bus, even he was laughing. Do you know what I mean? Because I said to the bus driver, I said, it's flipping funny though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? He was funny. You couldn't not. The bus wasn't full, but you couldn't help but laugh. That was myself. There was somebody a couple of rows back. They were laughing their heads off as well. You know what I mean? Because he just sort of just got up and just started singing Mads babies. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes bus rides, there we are. They can be very fascinating, Mads babies. They can be very amusing as well. Okay, but I suppose you see, this is what mankind's like. Just to end my video, and I'm sorry that me lights never came on, Mads babies. It's just one of those. Got to get some more anyway. How do I want to end my video? Yes, I've done a lot of swearing. Am I going to say sorry about it? No. Okay, it's done. What's done is done. Okay. Did I feel like having a swear and getting it off my chest? There we are. Yes, I did. Okay, because the fact of the matter is, it's the same shit, just a different day. Okay, Mads babies. What do I mean by that? So each day we do different things, don't we? But when we're hearing the same shit, okay, when there's other most pressing and important matters going on in the world, okay, Mads babies, That's what I mean by shit. So they just keep throwing more and more and more fucking shit at us. Do you see what I'm saying, my delicious babies? And sometimes, my delicious babies, it can be most frustrating and it can damn well piss me off. And that's what it does some days, okay? And then some days I say to myself, I do not even want to put a video out. I just, do you understand what I mean? Okay, but it's just I find it to be very frustrating. If everybody just said no, 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 well, there we are. We'd be out of the shit today. Okay, my delicious babies. But of course, this is not the case, is it? So as this is not the case, what's going to happen? It's going to go on a little bit longer. What year is that song, my delicious babies? Anyway, but the point is, my delicious babies, to end the video, once again, what's the point I'm saying? Variety is the sparse of life. What do I mean about that? If all mankind were the same, okay, then there we are. Then life would be, there we are, very boring. Wouldn't it, my delicious babies, okay? But when somebody just gets up and just sings, you know, as though, sorry, they're in the opera, okay, my delicious babies, okay, you cannot help but laugh. You know, I wasn't laughing at him. It was just, I just couldn't believe that he just stood. Well, I mean, I've seen mad, you know, a lot madder things go on in the world, mad delicious babies. But what I'm saying is, if everybody was the same, if everybody just sang at the top of their voices, each and every one of us, okay, well, it'd be a bit boring, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by varieties, a sparse of life, you know, because different mankinds, there we are, live in a different way, don't they? And some of them, there we are, want to show off their talents. And that is a wonderful thing, my delicious babies. I just say, show off away. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? But I've never seen that before with the old plug. I mean, come on, a belt is a belt, but this is a plug. My delicious babies on a wire. And I did a shorty video just not so long ago, my delicious babies, over the back of myself, where somebody had tied it's one of these floor lamps, and they'd actually tied it with a wire and the plug to the lamppost, my delicious babies. It's on my shorty videos. Anyway, so that's the end of our video. So thank you so very much for listening and watching today, okay? And I hope that you do find these videos interesting, okay? And sending you all peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings, okay? May your beautiful little selves, your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected, and how I love you also, okay? And whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies, okay? And yeah, mornings with Mal K, all spaces, Rumble, okay? She's up to 212,000 subscribers. Our lovely little Mel and her dear husband Rob. Not in that way, not in that way. Oh, they're so lovely, you know. But yeah, another banging upload of my delicious babies, okay? And I see that Fakeologist on YouTube, my delicious babies, well, Fakeologist 3, because it's the word and the number together. Yeah, their numbers are going up now, 921. They're up to now, my delicious babies, yeah. So all the numbers are going up. So it's Fan dabby dozy, fan dabby dozy, fan dabby dozy, yeah, that's all right. Okay, my delicious babies. So you just please look after yourselves now then. I wasn't swearing at yourselves, you do know that, but every now and again, there we are, I'll go into this mode. Okay, but I'm just not going to take this back, because I still feel the same, there we are, as I did yesterday evening. So when I feel like that, my delicious babies, there we are, I must get it off my chest. Do you see what I'm saying, my delicious babies? There we are. Then I feel a lot better. There we are. I really do. I really, really do. You know, no need to stumble there. I feel, there we are, so much better. I just get pissed off and frustrated at what we're seeing, because it doesn't have to be this way, my delicious babies. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Anyway, love ya. Take care. Thank you once again for listening. Goodbye.